Right guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video you can see I've already added in some other headlines. I want to show you kind of different effects we can add on to them just to make sure they stand out really, because obviously all the headlines should be clear. I've added them in here. I've also made sure I've added a label to them, so I put headline 4 and you can see which headline. I've actually got two headline 4s, so I'm going to name one of them headline 5. What I'm going to do first is I've actually realised, looking at this magazine cover, that my main image is probably a little bit too big at the moment. So I've clicked on my main image layer, Control T will allow me to resize the main image, and I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, just so that, and I'm happy with that size really. Probably maybe just a tad bigger, about to there, just so that it gives me a little bit more room to move some of my headlines around. So I want to leave a space for a graphic feature. I also want to leave a space for some other of the different effects, like a puff. So I'm going to move these around just a little bit. You'll notice that I've put one of them here, which is I think that's headline 3, if I can find it. Let's just try and find the headline 3, which is just here. Yeah, I've put it actually on top. I don't know if I can click on the right headline. I've actually put it on top of the main image, and the reason I've done that is because it's kind of the white text there stands out a little bit against the black background, so you can put it wherever you feel like. Right, let's add some effects to make these actually stand out. So headline 2, we can right click and go to blending options. For this one, because I want it to stand out quite clearly, because it's one of my more sort of prominent headlines, I'm going to put a stroke on it, and I want to come down to stroke. I've got 3 at the moment. I'm going to put it down to maybe up to 6, so that's kind of a bit bolder now. So I'm going to press OK. I can definitely make this headline a little bit bigger. I've got enough space here just to start to make it a little bit bigger. I'm happy with that. And then you can see that really then starts to stand out a little bit. I'm just going to position it so it's just there like that. Okay, so that's that headline. So let's have a look then at headline 3. I think it stands out, but it probably could do with standing out a little bit more. So I'm just going to double click on the text to highlight that first, and we might actually try and put it into a different font, like that one there. That might stand out a little bit better. Again, you guys can have a play around with it, see what you like. Headline 4 is this one just here. Again, I'm just going to right click to blending options. Let's add in a stroke. The stroke, more often than not, is the one you use because it kind of adds a different effect to everything on there. What we're going to do this one is actually, I've just realised one thing we can do. If you look at my original design, I added a red stripe across the middle, which allowed us to use some sort of different colours to make them stand out and give them a sort of a really good effect. We're going to do the same here. So to do that, we're going to come down to the bottom here on our layer menu, and we're going to click on the second one just in next to the trash bin. It says new layer, create new layer. So we're going to click there, and that will insert a new layer for us. We're then going to come across to the rectangle tool, which we used earlier. And we're going to use this to draw that middle layer. I'm going to use the red colour that we've already used at the bottom here, just for consistency and the use of our sort of the colour scheme. So I've got that. I'm just going to draw the box. I'm not going to make it too big. I reckon about that big there. Yeah, I think that's about the right size. One thing you'll notice is that, one thing I definitely don't like is that it's put the red box in front of the main image and everything else. So with this box, we need to actually, this layer where it's shape 1, we're going to drag it down step by step. Drag it down, keep dragging it down until it goes behind the main image, and then you won't be able to see it because you can still see it, but you can see it's now behind the main image, and it actually starts to allow us to maybe add some effects. I think it's this one here, yeah, headline 4. The reason you can't see it is because, well, the text is actually red. So let's change the text to a white colour. I mean, that's right. One thing you'd say about the font text is it's quite small, but being the fourth headline, it's not meant to be huge. So what we could do is we could add an effect to it. So let's add in a blending option. Let's put a stroke on there. Yeah, we can add in maybe a little bit. I think 4 or 5. I'm going to put 5, just to make it stand out a little bit more and just position it nicely there. With our next one, which I think is headline 5. Yep, headline 5. I'm going to move that up a little bit to in here, so it actually, we can again use it. We can either put it here or here. You've probably got room for 2 more headlines actually. So we can double click on this one. Again, I'm going to change the font to try and find a suitable font. That definitely isn't. I want one that's quite bold, one that stands out. Not that one either. Let's find which should find in a second. Let's go for this one here, and I've used this one before. So I'm going to change the font up. So there you go. It starts to look a bit more. There we go. Black on red, I'm not a big fan. Actually, we will leave the black, but we're going to put a blending option, and we're going to put a stroke, and we're going to change the colour of the stroke to white. And there you can see the stroke. That just makes it stand out so much more. It's so much more visible, and you can see. What I'd like to do is make sure you can add in another headline here. We're going to leave this space here and this space here for one a puff and one up here a graphic feature. And I'll see you in the next video.